A flutter, a buzz. Cannot believe it. It's happening. It's finally happening. They're so cute together, Ham. He's done it. He's got down on one knee. He said, "Will you marry me?" She said, "Yes." I can't believe it. Wish I was there.
Do it the romantic way. Get down on two knees. And then if she says yes, she helps you up. One knee seems like you could spring back up. I think romantic, really romantic, lie face down.
Yeah.
And just say, I'm not even going to kick me in the back of the head if it's a yes. That's how I want to know.
Hey, Prince William, are we talking of?
Yeah,
of course.
Of course.
Has proposed to Kate Middleton. The interesting, I think, interesting for me fact is he's used his mum's ring.
Yeah.
Princess Diana's engagement ring. Is that a bit cheap to do the reuse?
I think it's sentimental. He's not the kind.
But it doesn't signify a great marriage. I mean, they
did get divorced.
They got divorced.
Yeah,
and then,
but it's not. You can't
Charles
really
went off with the other.
Yeah, no, this isn't to say, dear Kate, I look forward to you finding someone else. This is a little precursor. Let's go down the same road. But I don't think it can be cheap. I think on the cheapness side of things, when you're a prince, can't really be cheap because it's sort of like...
Well, it's only apparently...
It does other stuff.
Girls in the office today are saying it's worth $45,000, that ring.
What's his salary? Let's work this out. But he's joined the army, so he's joined the Air Force. So he's on, he's not a high-ranking officer yet. So that's more than 2 months' salary for sure.
Well, I mean, if people go off this whole salary rule, to me, I think it's, and I'd love to know people's opinion, 13, 10, 60. If you're getting a ring... I know people are superstitious, but the ring seems a little tarnished because it didn't work out that ring didn't work, essentially.
But it's not the ring's fault. It's not.
Isn't it?
It's not the good luck, bad luck. I remember...
Can you be 100% on that, Ham?
I don't remember in any of the interviews they did about the marriage breaking up was Diana going, I loved Charles more than anything in the world. We had the perfect relationship, but every time I looked at that ring, I just thought, can't do it.
But you know the British media, they'll chop... the interviews the way they might have been in every single interview, and they just chop them the way they want.
Cursed ring, sort of like Lord of the Rings. We saw it happen. Did Diana need to throw it in a volcano or whatever?
13, 10, 60. Give us a buzz.
In fact, you know what I think? If it is a bad luck ring, maybe you did something to cleanse it with good luck. Like I have a lucky T-shirt, this blue T-shirt. I feel like if he'd let me get the ring and polish it with the lucky T-shirt, it could have cleansed the bad luck of Charles and Diana's relationship out of the ring. It's possible. You can cleanse bad luck. 13, 10, 60. Girls and guys, how would you feel about it? Accepting a ring from, I'm not being harsh here, but essentially a failed marriage. It ended in divorce.
Yeah, not a great one. I think
does the bad luck carry over in the ring?
Or would
if he sold the ring, say they sold the ring, it'd be priceless anyway. It's Princess Diana's ring, but say you sold it for $1 million.
Yeah, and then imagine the ring she could get then.
But would someone else ever use that ring? Are we saying what? It's meant to be just melted down and now it's out of circulation because it's a bad ring?
Don't know.
I mean, you've got to be able to use the ring again. How long does the curse last?
But maybe just not for engagement. Where is jewellery? Just don't use it for an engagement.
Put it in a skill tester or something. Have it as a prize. Just can't be engagement.
Inside of a clear egg. Yeah. Diane, if you were Kate, how would you feel about this?
Hello, Hamish and Andy.
Hi, Diane.
Look, when I heard about it this morning, I got engaged when I was 21, and we actually bought a second-hand engagement ring from a failed marriage. It was a lovely ring, and the engagement only lasted a very short time. So
curse carried on.
Yes, I had a bad vibe when I heard that this morning. So.
And
Diane,
and your lady Di yourself, so you know you know about these things.
Yes.
Thank you, Di.
To be honest, though, Ando, I mean, let's throw this into the mix. It wasn't a failed engagement, and that's all that ring's job is to get you to the church.
True.
The engagement was actually a bit of a ripper. The wedding ring, you wouldn't reuse that.
True.
I mean, we all saw her at the church.
We all know what an engagement means.
I'll see you at the church. It's a 2-year deposit, basically.
Is it?
And then the wedding ring's the contract. It's the 10% deposit on the marriage, and the wedding ring is the rest. It's settlement. But the wedding ring settlement.
Most people's wedding rings is just an add-on to the engagement ring. It's the
formality, but it's the signature. Just like the signature at settlement. Yeah. I mean, you've got to do the 10%. But the 10% is the engagement ring. That's the fanfare. That's the auction. Sold. Yes. 10% down.
What do you think, Monique?
Hi, guys. Look, I just wanted to say a second-hand ring is not cool, and especially like the story of Diana and Charles and actually, the story that he wasn't really in love with her and things like that. And I just sort of think, yuck, wearing a ring like that is, Yeah, just not. It's got a bad taste.
Yeah,
It feels like the ring would be whispering at her, going,
Yeah.
"Are you sure?"
I was involved in a fairy tale engagement, but it was one of the bad fairy tales, like, the
Absolutely,
Western
yeah.
European scary ones that you hear. Like about the giants and the trolls.
Diana,
Yes.
you think it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. I got a new engagement ring, but we've got second-hand wedding rings, and I don't know who they're from, but they're definitely second-hand.
Well,
They've got different initials on the inside.
Do you think the fact that you don't know who they're from helps you? Like, because then, of course, it does. It just means something to you. This ring that she's got on has some very big significance in her husband-to-be's past.
Yeah, but still, it's what you make it. And if you're marrying a loser, you're going to split up. If you're not, it doesn't matter about the ring.
So you calling Prince Charles a loser?
Well, he's not my choice as a husband.
Yep, that'll. I mean, and it's good to have a Diana on the show calling Prince Charles a loser.
There's a scoop.
30 years ago, that would have been world headlines.
Tracy, wrap this up. What are your thoughts?
Oh, hi. I just thought that William could have chosen a lovely piece of jewellery that Diana really loves and had it made into a beautiful ring.
Imagine if he took her princess tiara with all the diamonds in it, made that into a ring. Yeah. That gets the girls at the polo club jealous.
That's a big ring.
It's just like the size of someone's head. There's about 1,000 diamonds in that thing. If that's what you're meant to do as a prince, show off your wealth. What's this sentimental stuff?
Hamish and Andy.
Ando, on yesterday's show, I mentioned that I'd resisted all weekend playing the most hotly anticipated video game of the year, Call of Duty Black Ops.
Oh, this is important. In fact, we'll go into securing another artist for our TYT after this.
No, they can wait. Yeah. We'll spin the wheel after this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all right. We've got them all up on hold, and that's fine.
Okay,
especially
cool.
Mozart. He's not doing anything. Ando, so yesterday I was sort of going, look, I've been, Zoe had been staying at my house for over the weekend, and I hadn't wanted to play more than spend time with her, but I did want credit for her knowing I wasn't
You wanted
playing.
to play the game.
I do want to play it, definitely. Obviously want to spend time with her more, but at the same time, that doesn't mean you have to be like 100% one thing and 0% the other.
Yeah, of course.
She'd beat it out, sort of. If I had to put a number on it, let's say 50.5 to 49.5%. So it was a tight battle, and, she won. But she went into
finally
state.
got to play the game.
Yeah, she went away last night. She had to go, and last night was the moment. Unwrapped it, unsealed, because I hadn't even taken it out of its sealing because I didn't trust myself to not play it when she was there.
Before you go into this, she's back. I think she's been wandering around the studio.
Zoe's hanging around.
Yeah.
Is she around? Can you see? I can't see it. Can you see it?
I saw her earlier before. I think she was getting a coffee or a.
All right, just quickly let me tell you how good this is. All right, keep an eye out for her.
Yeah, okay. If she comes, we'll
just give us a hoy.
Yeah, okay.
All right, but just quickly between you and me, it's amazing. It's so amazing. Call of Duty Black Ops is the single greatest game I've ever played. The physics, the ballistics, you're in the action. I can't even imagine what playing at 3D.
She's coming.
So this weekend I thought maybe you'd check out some salad bowls with Zoe. Hi, honey.
Hey.
Maybe get a new salad service, because, we're eating more salads these days.
Yum. Yeah, she's gone. She's gone.
Right, okay, yeah. So it takes you back into these missions. Bay of Pigs, you're in Russia.
Oh,
you get to fight in Vietnam.
You've glossed over that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so you're playing in Bay of Pigs. So you're actually in the failed CIA invasion. The weapons are completely real. Yeah. It's got such a cinematic feel to it, right? So basically thought we might switch the cat to an all dry food diet.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, honey.
Hey, Zoe. Hey.
How's it going?
She's waving. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting about the cat.
Online, Xbox Live Online, amazing gameplay. Yeah. Played it all night.
So
my fingers are aching.
So you can actually play against
Go online,
people.
playing everyone else, killing them, kill streaks, all the new features. It's amazing. Cornets. So, that's good. I think we just need a 2-drawer dresser, just something simple. Keep all my socks and undies.
Yeah, hey, so...
10 stars. 10 stars. It's the most amazing thing. You've got to play it tonight. Come over. She's out. I'll say I'm under house arrest.
This is Hamish and Andy.
Hey, if people have just tuned in, maybe even for the first time, welcome.
And thank you.
And by all means, welcome. Yes, we are embarking on a 5-day thanks.
Yep.
5-day cheers. Thanks very much. Because, at the end of this year, before we go to one day a week next year on Fridays, I just want to thank people for being a part of the last 5 years. There are going to be big outside broadcasts in in each of the cities we're going to, starting in Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne.
Trying to do as much as we can. If you can get there, that would be amazing. If not, just listen through your radios.
Yeah.
You too can come on the tour.
Free event. You can come down. I think gates open at midday, but the details are hamishandy.com for any of the city closest to you. If you'd love to come and spend the last of our shows in this current format, we'd love to have you along. We want to, obviously, it's pretty exciting just to see us on a couch chatting, Ham.
If you're doing the talking bit live, we talked to some of the advertisers. We're like, hey, could you come and do the ads live? Turns out they pre-record those bits.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I actually thought they were in a different studio somewhere here in the building.
To be fair, the Nappy Sound guy said he would come and do a quick one.
He said he'd do a doorstop challenge. Yeah. And we went, that's TV, and how did you get this number? Because we did not call you. But we thought, look, if we can't get the ads live, maybe we can get some of the music live.
Yeah, exactly. And we went on to, I can't remember the website.
Gigsformusos.org.
That's right, Gigs for Musos.
Said, we got some gigs. Who wants to be a muso?
And if you're looking for it, it's a 4, the numeral 4. It's not 4, FOR.
It's not available from all computers.
And so many acts have just thrown their hand up, Ham. We can't believe it. So
we ran back into our office just going, hey, too many acts, not enough slots.
So we've got a big wheel here.
Yep.
With all the different acts. They're all waiting on hold at the moment. Ham, should we quickly go through the wheel?
Let's see who's on the wheel today, Ando.
I think Guy Sebastian's on the wheel.
Guy's on the wheel.
He's keen to do the gig. I think
to have a beer with
Slim Dusty.
Slim Dusty's on the wheel.
Miraculous.
Don't think about it too much.
Okay, he's on the wheel. Kanye West. Apparently he might be in town. He would like to perform.
Always happy to have Kanye.
Farnsey.
John Farnham, happy to have John Farnham.
Yeah, and final on the wheel.
I believe that's Mozart himself playing the violin. So wouldn't that be something? The composer also playing the instrument. Real coup for classical music fans.
They're all on hold, or representatives of their estate on hold.
If I know Wolfgang, and I think I do, he wants to come to the show. But Wolfgang, just like everyone else on hold, you have to have your name spun up. That's how you get selected for this gig.
This is for the Sydney show. Whoever we spin up now will be joining us at Moore Park on Thursday, December 2nd. We'd love you guys to come down, free event. Ham, get across there, mate.
Okay. Safety goggles on.
Good call.
Moving across to the wheel now. Hope I don't spin it too hard and make any bits fly off.
Kanye. Mozart. Slim. It's Guy Sebastian! Oh!
You're coming, Guy! You spun up, you beat out Mozart!
Guy, are you there?
Really? What? I won?
You won! You're a winner! You've won one gig free of charge,
God.
Please, at Hamish and
I've
Andy's.
never won anything in my life.
Oh, well,
Except
this is...
Idol, but
you did win Idol. But obviously that becomes now the second best thing you've won. And
Guy,
obviously...
you and a mate can come along to the second last show of the year in Sydney, December 2nd at Moore Park
as long as
part
your
of the
mate
thank
can
you
play
tour.
guitar.
Yeah, we will be auditioning you,
so
mate.
Convenient. I only live down the road. What a good show for me to have won.
Well, lucky we didn't put you on yesterday's wheel because you would have had to go across the Perth. Yeah. And but we think about these things when we put everyone on the wheel.
Mate, we are pretty pumped to have you on board. Thank you very much. Obviously, commiserations to Mozart and Kanye. Obviously, they'll be devastated.
Yep.
I understand a retrospective...
Well, who knows? Kanye could pop up on stage and ruin my moment anyway.
True.
Guy, I'm going to let you finish how you like it like that, but...
Hey, mate, I understand an album out Friday, 2010. Is that true?
Yeah, very strange. It is. Well, I've done 5 albums since winning Idol, 8 years or whatever ago, and which means I came to the end of my my Sony deal, and they always sort of do a little best of, or but I wanted to make it a little bit more special because I'm only young and feel like hopefully I've got more of a career to go, and so we did something a bit different with 2010. So it's 18 actually of previous songs, I've got 2 new ones, so that makes up the first disc of 20 songs, and then 10 of them done acoustically. So I've gone in, rearranged it, played tin cans and spoons and all sorts of stuff, and just done it real acoustically. So
That's very cool. So, Guy, is it right to say that you are now only just finishing your prize for winning Australian Idol, your record deal?
Exactly, yeah, I guess that's a good way of looking at it. But, yeah, it's sort of weird. I never thought I'd get to the end of it. But
it's like there are people that still haven't taken their Sale of the Century holidays yet. still riding off that win.
Well, Guy, thank you very much. All the best with that one, mate. We can't wait to see you at Moore Park on December 2nd as part of the thank you tour performing, and we'll try and lock in a couple of other acts to be alongside you.
Great, can't wait.
Cheers.
It'll be a good show.
Hamish and Andy.
Portia De Rossi, of course, amazing talented actor in her own right, of Ally McBeal fame, Arrested Development, and she's just released a book, also the better half of Ellen DeGeneres, Ham. The book's called Unbearable Lightness, and it covers off a couple of the challenges she faced in her life.
Yeah.
Also to do with an eating disorder.
Because it was about eating disorders and body image, she, on the promotional tour for this book, has said she only wants to talk to women because she thinks it'll be easier to identify with that message.
And we said, yes, we're girly guys.
Very girly guys, Portia. Give us a shot.
But instead,
no dice.
We got the best of the business. Fifi Box joins the studio now. Fifi, thank you for coming in.
My pleasure, guys. And I'll be honest, when I saw you both rifling through my bra drawer, I was concerned, but I figured you were trying to fulfil the requirements to be, an interviewer of Portia De Rossi.
Well, yeah.
We're doing our due diligence. We picked you as a girl. We just needed to double check.
Fifi, we wanted to play a little bit before we play the actual interview. A little bit of something that you left us. We were asking Katie, who works with us here, to get in touch with you about curing you with the book, Portia De Rossi's book, so you can have a look at it before the interview.
Felt like, we did just sort of dump this on you quickly, but it appears to have somewhat flustered you, Fifi, the request to interview Portia De Rossi at short notice.
Everybody, this is the voicemail message, the phone message that Fifi has left on our producer Katie's phone.
Received at 9:02 a.m.
Hi, honey, it's Fifi. Darling, sorry about yesterday. I left my BlackBerry charging all day, which was sort of fun to not have to be at its beck and call all day. But when I got home late last night, I was playing catch-up basically till now. And how's this? I just had a spray tan and I fainted. So I'm not feeling that great, and I'm flying to Hawaii this afternoon. But this is great news about Portia. So the only thing is, obviously, I'm flying out this afternoon. So I'm on a 6 o'clock flight, which means I have to be at the airport at 4. So I'll be leaving my house about 3. So if we were looking at couriering, my address is Street. Yeah, let me know if that suits, honey. Conversely, I'm going into work now at Sunrise. I'm wondering if they might have a copy, but they probably don't. Anyway, darling, I look forward to hearing from you. I'm about to get here at work. I'm going to go straight into a meeting. But if let's text or email and we'll stay in touch. Okay, thanks, honey. Bye.
Oh, and we edited that. That was about 2 hours longer than it is.
Guys, seriously, am I that boring?
Fifi, keep it short.
It's a long message, Fifi. It's almost double minutes.
No,
anything over a minute's crazy. 2 minutes, it's a short story.
I was running her through my flight itinerary. That's uncalled for.
Can you run us through?
I need to be stopped.
You do. Can you run us through the fainting? What happened there?
I don't know what happened. I didn't have breakfast and then I went in for a spray tan. And as you both well know, you're standing there in a paper G-string. And I was being sprayed, and then suddenly.
Was it a spray tan or a spray paint? Because if you went to like a car spraying joint, some of those car paints will be toxic.
They'll get you.
I know they say it'll last for 2 years, but I think just the risks you run health-wise are not worth a 2-year tan.
Fifi, stick around. Your interview with Portia De Rossi.
In a word, Fifi, how did it go? Good fun? Interesting? The interview that we sent you to do.
Oh, very good. Outstanding.
Well,
She's a brilliant woman.
Her own review, but you can be your own judge straight after this.
I've got more words, but you won't let me say them.
You got to catch up with Portia De Rossi today, of course. Other half Ellen DeGeneres. She also was in Ally McBeal Were you an Ally Beale fan, Fife?
Do you know what? I wasn't. And that's very, for my gender, I think that was one of the biggest shows for my demographic, but I wasn't a fan. I was a fan, though, of Arrested Development.
Feel like you let down your demographic, do you? Demographic regret is a big, that can hurt. I remember as a young boy when I didn't like Mambo, I would come home at the end of the school and Dad would go, "What's wrong? You're 13, you should be having fun." I went, "Dad, I've let down my demographic. I don't like Mambo.
I just don't like the poop shooting.
I think it's childish. That dog's fighting a musical note."
Well, she plays Nell Porter, I believe, in Ally McBeal.
Yes,
and
that's right.
Talk us through the book, Unbearable Lightness, the book about kind of her turmoil and with her own body issues.
Yeah, her eating disorder. And the thing about Portia that I didn't realise, and I think, if people can remember many years ago, there were those photos of her looking skeletal and clearly what looked like anorexia. But she denied it back then. Well, she has written this book, and I have to say it's a fabulous read. She's an intelligent woman. It's well written, and it's so honest and frank. And I think she talks about not only her anorexia, her bulimia, the hell she lived in with those eating disorders, also the fact that she was in the closet being gay and she hadn't come out to her family and friends and she hadn't come to terms with it. So there's a lot of issues that people could relate to. And myself as a woman who has dieted since I was a teenager, I've never had a full-blown eating disorder like this, but I could relate to it, and I think there's something that lots of women can relate to.
Yeah, well, it is a disease that's a lot more common than people know about, and it is such an interesting and mysterious disease too.
Because it was about body issues, Portia was pretty keen only to talk to females about this issue. That's why we sent Fifi in. We pick up Fifi's chat with Portia De Rossi.
Hi, Fifi. Nice to talk to you.
Portia, it is so nice to speak to you, and I have read your amazing book, and I just want to reach out and give you the biggest hug you've ever received. I am so moved by your story, as all women and in fact men who have gone through similar experiences have. It is such a brave, courageous thing for you to do, so well done.
Oh, thank you, Fifi. Thanks. It was pretty hard to write, I'll tell you that.
I can imagine, and I think what's so interesting is knowing you as sort of Nell Porter and then Lindsay in Arrested Development, and the characters you've played, which are such strong, in some cases aggressive, hostile women, to have you pour your heart and soul out and to realise what was the person, the actress that was behind these characters, it's so enlightening.
Yeah. I know, pretty ironic, really. I mean, especially the character of Nell Porter. She was so self-confident, and so she just, had it all together. And, the character that I was playing also in my life as a brand new kind of celebrity type actress was completely different to who I really was as a person. And it was, just a recipe for disaster. I just was so insecure and, which led to a lot of very, very bad habits.
I know, and that's the interesting thing about you and your story is you were such a determined soul, and, you knew what you wanted, and you did. You achieved it all through school, through modelling, and then a successful actress. And I, when I was reading, the idea of you leaving the Ally McBeal set crying, and then when you were on the phone to your best friend Anne in New York, and you were thinking, I wish I had her life, I wish I had someone else's life. It's one of those things where is it a case of you can never be too famous when you want that, or you can never be too thin? That constant striving will catch you eventually.
I mean, there was certainly a kind of emptiness that I felt when I thought that I should be really, really happy. I thought that money and a little bit of fame and maintaining a really low weight would make me happy, and it didn't, certainly. But I think it was just the fact that I knew that I was lying. I knew that, I was a gay woman, and I was pretending to be straight, and I was pretending to enjoy my job when I was really very isolated and very unhappy. And I think it was just that feeling of not being able to be who I really am as a person. And I think that that's kind of why I felt so depressed at that time. And and why I got so sick.
Someone this morning said to me, Portia, they saw a photo of me and they said, oh, you looked really thin in that photo. And then I thought about what you were saying with Vera in Wardrobe, who kept saying to you, oh, you're looking better and better the more you lose weight. That really can affect someone, can't it? Because I was in my mind thinking, well, if I look thin in that photo, well, gosh, I have to be thin then to look good.
Right. Sure. I mean, it certainly does. I think, all women are expected to be good at dieting. We're all supposed to be kind of living our lives on a diet in a way. And, I think that if nothing else, people, I hope, can recognize their chronic dieting habits when they read my book, because really that's all it is. It's just wanting to be somebody other than who you are, whether that's physically. A lot of people think they're going to be happier if they're 5 pounds thinner or 5 kilos thinner. And that's kind of the culture that we live in. And
that's what, and your journey is so harrowing and painful, and I think for a lot of people won't be able to relate to the depths that you went to. But I honestly think there wouldn't be a woman listening to this right now who can't relate in some way. And you even said it. You said you don't have to be emaciated or vomiting to be suffering. All people who live their life on a diet are suffering. And I think that's the key. Yeah. I mean, I know a friend at the moment, she's getting married in 4 weeks, and all she can think about is eating the chocolate cake at the end of the night because she's denied herself for 6 weeks.
Yeah, she's going to eat that chocolate cake, and she's going to eat the whole cake because there's a slice of it. Because what happens when you restrict food and go on a diet, you're always going to overeat at the end of it. And people don't really understand that dieting is the worst thing you can do to lose weight. I mean, I got to tell you, I look in the mirror, and I still don't like my thighs, and I never will. But I'm never going to jeopardize my health or my happiness just to change their shape, because I am not the size of my thighs, and I'm not a number on a scale. And if all women could, just stop focusing on what they look like and how much they weigh, and really, really start thinking about how they can contribute in the world, and how they can really further their education and further their minds, I think, we're going to be a lot better off.
I totally agree. And an interesting point that you also made too was you said that the 2 greatest fears you had were being fat and being gay. And then you realised both of these really led to your ultimate happiness. And the epilogue where you talk about Ellen, I mean, it's a beautiful conclusion. Obviously not a conclusion to your story, but to your book. And I know that you did talk about when Ellen read the book, stayed up all night reading it, but did she know the extent until she read the book of what you'd been through?
No, she really didn't. I mean, I actually kind of tested the waters a little bit, and I read her some passages as I wrote them, because I think that, if she kind of heard them and cringed a little, or said, I don't think you don't have to go that far, I wouldn't have been able to write the book, or I wouldn't have been able to be so honest, for sure. And, the beauty of it, though, is that she didn't see the suffering. She didn't see the weakness in it. She just saw me for being incredibly strong, because I came from such a low place to being the person that she knows now. So that was really encouraging to me, and without her support, I just don't think I could have done it.
And so encouraging to know you went through that, what you went through, the hell you lived, and that you came through it. And I think that's the key, because, not only I've discussed, obviously, the dieting, the eating disorders and the chronic dieting, but also the whole coming out and being accepted by your friends, your family and the public. And that was the bit in the book where you lost me, I've got to say. With your gran and your mum, I was in tears. That was a beautiful passage.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. She was 100 years old when I came out to her. And she accepted me. She didn't think twice about it. She never talked about it again. She just, kept asking after Ellen and treated Ellen like a granddaughter. It wasn't just the coming out either. It was this long kind of struggle that I had with self-acceptance. And it started with my name change and feeling like I had to be somebody more interesting than who I actually was. And I think that that's kind of the journey that I went on when I wrote the book. And I think that that's kind of the thing that is kind of universal for everybody, is that we all kind of struggle with with accepting ourselves and hopefully, that's kind of what people can get from the book.
Oh, Portia, it's a fantastic book. It moved me, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. And as you said, it's not just about suffering eating disorders or accepting being gay and coming out. It's also just about accepting yourself, whoever you are. So I do think there is something in there for everybody.
Oh, thank you so much, Fifi.
And thank you so much for your time. And now I'm giving you a virtual hug at the moment because I wanted to do it every word I read. I wanted to give you a hug.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Portia. You have a good day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Fifi, what was it like to virtually hug her? Good hug? You didn't hold on for too long, did you?
Was it slightly inappropriate to ask that? I'm starting to think that was... She's married.
The thing is, you didn't ask. You said, I'm giving you one. So like it or not, right now I'm hugging you. You can try and get your arms out, but I'm hugging you pretty tight.
Fifi, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for doing that. It was
my pleasure.
Slightly different for this show, but well worthwhile.
You got the job.
And any time your gender gets in the way, guys, I'm happy to step in for it.
If Michael Jordan brings out some sort of book and he'll only talk to dudes about shooting hoops, we'll step up for you for Sunrise.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you, mate.
This is Hamish and Andy.
Hame, the Crocodile farm.
Yeah.
On inspecting their eggs in the croc nest.
Oh, sorry. When you said you had croc news to me just during the song, I thought you meant the shoes.
No. This is legit croc.
I thought I might have put out new colours or different decorations you can put on your crocs.
No, they're as bad as they've always been.
How's your dad liking the croc
my
thongs?
Dad loves them.
Yeah, my dad loves the croc thongs. Because I think we mentioned crocs before and they're like, oh, you guys love crocs? Yeah. Have a pair. Well, we'll take them, but they're going straight to Dad.
Hey, great shoes, Crocs, just in case.
Christmas is coming up. Dad could always use some new Crocs.
In case they do advertise with us in this station, can I just say I love them.
They're great. Anything else is a Croc.
Yeah.
That's not a good slogan because they're all... it's confusing.
Anyway.
It's the worst slogan they could pick. Crocs. Anything else is a croc, i.e. us. Repeat. Get stuck in a loop.
Like that. There was an old man named Michael Finnegan.
Yeah. It's just the song that never ends.
Anyway, the Crocodile farm.
Yep.
Upon inspecting their eggs in the nest, the owner and a couple of the keepers are pretty sure they've got a double-headed croc in one of them.
Two-headed croc?
Yeah.
Croc shock.
That is a croc.
Was that the headline?
No, it should be.
Idiots.
They feel that it's a conjoined twin, but they're just sharing the same body, so two heads.
Wow.
That is going to be given birth soon. My question to you, Ham, and people can join in on 131060. Would you rather fight a single-headed croc or a double-headed croc?
Oh, easily double-headed.
Why, mate?
No. Because this is the problem. This is the problem with too many people involved in the one mission. Yeah. The mission for that crocodile is to eat you. Yeah. If it was you and I'd just go, well, I'm sure Andy's taking care of this guy. I'll just go about my day. And you go, I'm sure Hamish is taking care of this. Yeah. Then I go 5 minutes later, where's that guy we're meant to be killing? And you go, well, I thought... Oh, not again. Two heads aren't better than one. Roll credits. Croc Bros. Life in the swamp. So it'd just be this hilarious show about how we can never get anything done because we're this two-headed croc you'd think is more inefficient, but actually it causes a lot of mistakes to be made. Whereas a one-headed croc, he knows what he's doing. He's about the job. He will get you. He'll eat you.
As much as I love your hit new comedy, I'm not sure whether it's animated or got animatronics.
Both. Bit of both.
There's a hell of a lot of assumptions as to what kind of croc he is. What if they're both killing machines, two better than one? What if they're both ninjas?
No, it would as soon
like Kung Fu Panda, how they had that elite
he was bad at,
he
was bad at
I know, but the elite torp of the other guys.
Not a true story as well.
Okay, and Croc Bros what?
Croc Bros is, because you've got a real life two-headed croc now. And I guarantee you the first time that left head eats something... That sends a message to right head, take the day off.
No, it's not.
Take the year off.
Fire him up.
No.
Hey, if you neutralise one head, you've still another head coming at you. You've got two things to watch.
No, you
it's
don't.
like a guy coming with a sword from the left and a sword from the right. I'd much prefer just having one guy from the right, single sword. You've got chompers coming left and right.
No, again, I'd rather fight someone with two swords. Yeah. because it's so much indecision. Indecision is where you can pick your weakness. Yeah. If I was fighting a guy with one sword, I know he knows what he's doing. He's going to hit me with that sword. 2 swords, he's like, oh, what do I use? Which one do I use? Meanwhile, I've snuck away. Cuts to the swords going, man, I thought you had him. Swords going, I thought you had him. Croc swords. Sword bros. Jenna, would you rather fight a crocodile with 2 heads or 1 head?
I'd rather fight them with 2.
And what's your theory as to why you'd rather take on a 2-headed croc?
Well, I lived in Port Douglas for a while, so crocs were they're quite big out there. Mm-hmm. And I would imagine the movement in the head would be slower, so that would give the person, therefore, a little bit of a chance to either get away or to come up with something.
Yep. Too many heads.
Too many heads, yeah, exactly.
Well, Jenna,
too many heads.
Hey, and Jenny,
because a 4-headed croc would be ridiculous. Yeah. Too many heads spoil the body broth.
I asked Jez, our web guy, the same thing.
Here we go.
And he goes, probably the 2-headed, right? Because obviously with a head at both ends, it wouldn't know which way to run.
Immediately assumed it's both ends.
It's got a head where the tail should be. And I was like, how is that your first assumption?
Why has it got a head where its arse is?
Hamish and Andy.
Ding, 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 royal news.
Crazy news, Ando. That's why Andy's ringing the tiny Tower of London bell. Small Ben.
Yes.
Bing, bing, bing. Because, Ando, I mean, Prince William proposing to Kate Middleton, this is huge. It doesn't get much bigger than this. There's going to be a royal wedding. Photos, there's going to be dress fittings, there's going to be talk of the processions, the honeymoon, who's going to sing. Elton John's probably about 5 songs already ready to go. He's been waiting for this moment.
He'll repurpose Candle in the Wind again, probably.
Oh, I would have thought, something maybe Will Smith's hit Big Willie style. Do something with that for Prince William. Yeah. But I mean, that's up to Elton John. We're not here to do his job for him.
Exactly.
But one of the biggest things is the photos.
Everyone's wondering.
This is going to be the most photographed royal spectacle of the century.
And you obviously, 24 hours a day, stream newsexclu.org.
Mm-hmm. Royal News.
And just get all the exclus.
On their royal feed.
Royal feed, yeah. And you said to me just straight out of that there's already been a deal done for the
photos. If you're wondering where you can see the photos first of the
actual wedding
of the wedding when it happens, Prince William has made a decision on who gets the photos.
What publication?
It's a shock.
Really?
Oh, that's all I'll say. I've got the. I can play the news grab for you now.
Good afternoon and welcome to the program. Hot on the heels of the announcement that Prince William will marry his long-term sweetheart Kate Middleton comes the news that the couple intend to sell the wedding photos to a media outlet. A decision that was a shock in itself. What further surprised some media analysts was Prince William's choice to sell the photos to Warren's World, a newsletter published in-house at a small South Australian business, Warren's Plastics. Editor-in-Chief of Warren's World and raw materials purchasing supervisor, Brian Warren, was delighted with the decision.
Mate, look, I thought the newsletter needed spicing up for a while. I've thought that. So shot the Royals an email to see if we could get the exclusive photos. I've got to say, look, I'm bloody rapt that we've got them. Girls around here love the Royals. I could take them or leave them, but, it'll be a big story. It'll take up most of the front page for sure.
But other media outlets are upset to have missed out on the exclusive photos. Media outlets such as Woman's Day.
Yeah, well, I didn't see this one coming. I haven't really heard of Warren's World, so pretty PO'd, actually. Didn't know we were making offers yet, so...
Over at Warren's World, editor Brian was coy on what his offer to the royal family was.
It was generous, I'll say that. We make a fair bit of outdoor and patio furniture, and I think William and Kate have got a patio, so you can imagine we dangled a pretty big carrot.
Some have speculated that the prince may have jumped too quickly, accepting the first offer of what would have been, no doubt, many. A royal source was able to shed some light.
Yeah, it might have been better to wait, or not even sell them at all. But always nice to have a bit of outdoor furniture, innit? Takes the pressure off getting it later and that.
So does the editor of Warren's Plastics newsletter expect the photos to boost circulation?
Oh, yeah. Look, we do all right. We normally have Sudoku and photos of plastic offcuts that look like genitals, and last month we got Susan's 45th birthday on the front cover. But look, I reckon with the exclusive shots of this royal wedding, even though they're going to be pretty dodgy in black and white because of our photocopier, I reckon we're looking at 50 copies. And there's only 14 of us that work here, so that's pretty big numbers for us.
While the rest of us eagerly await the souvenir royal issue of Warren's World, Women's Day have no choice but to be gracious in defeat.
Yes, well, good luck to them. We're just going to have to make up stories that they're all cheating on their wives and have eating disorders. So they really left us no choice.
Warren's World's response?
We're doing the next issue on a family of rats in the storeroom, so we've got a free kick on us there.
The battle continues.
Hamish and Andy.
This is pretty exciting. You'll hear just there the microphone come up because we're about to cross to a superstar who works with us here, Maddie Tilley, on a ride for 24 hours straight to help raise awareness and dollars for Beyond Blue, men's depression. You can go to our website, hamishandy.com, to donate. Maddie, come in, old doggy. You're there.
Young dogs, woof, woof, woof.
You've gone delirious.
Yeah.
Matt, just some stats to start off with.
Used to be... Yep.
How long have you been riding and how far in are you?
Okay. Well, I've been riding since 8:20 this morning.
Yep.
And I have gone 229.3 kilometres.
Oh,
For the ladies, 7,885 calories burnt.
That's incredible. Yeah, I mean, does it get to the stage where you're going to have to just be eating a lot of food to replace the energy?
Well, my wife made up chicken sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
And you know how at a party it's polite to only take one or two?
Yeah.
I've just said I'll have the tray and go on and get another one.
Yeah.
Bring some of those Chico rolls.
Now, Matt, you'd be familiar with this when someone calls in the radio station. If you could just pull over, mate, and take it off hands-free. Well, that's the amazing thing. We can hear all the trucks and stuff roaring past you. Are you in a bit of a trance now? You've been out there for so long?
Yeah, and it really is difficult to overcome your traditional reaction on a bike to tooting, which is to flip the bird, because these are, toots of keep going, old boy.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like some no-dos? Yes, thank you, truckie.
Maddie, it's going to be dangerous a little later on in the night. When obviously you're going for 24 hours, how many lights do you have around you when you're halfway between Melbourne and Sydney, and there's some huge lorries coming through late at night?
Yeah, we've got a car behind us and in front of us, and I've got a little flashy thing.
Oh, good.
That's good.
That's the less significant of the convoy.
Good to see you. You haven't done this unprepared. You've got a plate of chicken sandwiches and a flashy thing. You know what you're doing. Now, Maddie,
so for people trying to run him down, I'd go from the side. That's what we're taking from there.
It's I mean, you must have things to take your mind off it as you're a third of the way through, which in itself is pretty amazing. But you're going through at the moment. You're near Glenrowan, Ned Kelly country. You're also in prime scone country. Is it tempting to pull over, try a Devonshire tea? Is that probably the biggest challenge at the moment?
Yeah, look, it is. I say, listen, don't let it steep, ladies. Just pour it, because I like to sit there and have a chat. I tell you, it was very interesting just outside Glenrowan. I actually got a final warning from a highway patrol officer, right?
Yeah.
Another truck, for urinating at the side of the road.
A final warning?
I'm like, yeah, he said, I'll let you off with a final warning this time. Happens again, I'm going to charge you. And I'm thinking, geez, things have tightened up since Ned was around. They've really taken the reins in now.
Yeah, they're not letting anyone get away with anything. So
that's actually how they got Ned. He was weeing on the side of the road. Yeah. No, we've got you for that, mate.
You've taken your armour off. We've got you. You can't do it inside the suit. It rusts.
No one wants trusty armour. That's right. But I've got the WD-40, so I'm happy to take them off.
Maddie, we will let you go because you should be concentrating on the road. You're doing an exceptional job. We can't wait to see how you go. 24 hours cycling non-stop to raise awareness and some money for Beyond Blue, men's depression. We couldn't think of a better organisation, mate, to be raising awareness for. HamishAndy.com if you want to donate. Keep it up, old dog.
Thank you, boys. It's very exciting. We're waving to a couple of rednecks who shoot and vote. It's very clever.
See you, Maddie.